Welcome to PBI Radio. It's Chris Guns. Today's guest is highly respected, highly ranked welterweight contender, Jessie Vargas. The kid started boxing at age 8, training under Roger Mayweather. Made the 2008 Mexican Olympic team. Had a great amateur career before not medaling in the Olympics, and he turned pro. Battled his way up the ladder. He's still undefeated. He's got some big wins. Big win over Josecito Lopez, who got a big fight coming up against Canelo. So we're going to weigh in on a lot of things with Jessie. He could talk about a lot of things, I'm sure. We'll talk about his life. We'll talk about where he's at now. We'll talk about Josecito Lopez, Canelo Alvarez. We're going to hit on TMT. We'll talk about a lot of things with Jessie Vargas. So let's go ahead and get Jessie on the line. Jessie Vargas, thanks for being there, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Tell me about yourself, man. Where were you born?
I was born in Los Angeles, California. I moved out here when I was about 6 years old. So,
and what's it like growing up there?
Has been my home.
What's it like in that part of LA that you came up in?
It's nice. I lived around. When I was very young, so I have very small memories, of being there.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Compton, but then moved out here. So basically, all my career has been here.
Yeah, and tell me about the Vargas household growing up. What was it like, and who was in it?
Well, my father has always been, the man of the house. My mother, I grew up with my dad working, my mother taking care of me, and then it got to a certain point when my mother started working as well. They both started working, but they always made enough time for me and my sport, because I started sport very young. I started at 7 years old in Taekwondo. I didn't like it, so my father looked for another sport, because something that he did want me to do is to be involved in the sport. The reason being that it would keep me out of trouble. That's what he thought at the time, because we lived in a neighborhood that it wasn't all that nice, So he kept me busy in sports. He presented me into boxing, and ever since the first day at the gym, I haven't stopped. The longest break has maybe been 2 months tops, and I've always been involved, and ever since I started, I wanted to be a world champion, because my dad brought me a video of Julio Cesar Chavez, a biography, and very young I said to myself, that's what I want. I want to be champion of the world, just like Chavez, because he was my idol at the time.
Some
big
shoes to fill.
Grew up in Vegas. My father worked. We moved on to a better neighborhood, and right now I live comfortably, thankfully, and what I was gonna say.
So you started boxing at 7 or 8 years old, and were you good right away?
Yeah, I got the hang of it pretty quick.
And you were trained right away by
the thing about me, I would get mad in the ring when I was a kid.
Who was your first trainer? Was it Roger Mayweather?
Yes.
And what was Roger Mayweather like way back then? Was it still the same?
He was a nice guy, just like he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy. Always had a good time. Always laughing. He hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
Grew a couple of gray hairs.
How did training with Roger change over the years through it all? He wasn't Floyd's trainer at first, was he?
No, yeah, he was always his trainer. As long as I can remember, Floyd was there, but most of the time Roger would be, right behind him. I think even when Floyd would train him, I think he would be there.
Mm.
He was always part of the team. And I was deploying around at the gym, at the first gym that I started, which was Nevada Partners, and it was nice to see him around there. And that was when he was champion of the world. I was only 9, I think.
Wow.
And he was, the same guy too. Always having fun, even in the gym.
Yeah. When did you have your first amateur fight? How old were you?
I don't know. I want to say 9.
And you trained also with Cornelius Boza Edwards too. You trained with him and Roger simultaneously?
He was always the second trainer in command when I turned pro. A little bit before I turned pro.
Yeah, was it any kind of power struggle with who you listened to?
No. I mean, they're very good friends, so I mean they got along just fine, and they were both with the same program.
Yeah. And what was your total amateur record?
I want to say about 120 and 20.
Yeah. And you represented both countries as an amateur. How would that all work out?
I did. Represented Mexico, and then also I beat the guy that was representing the United States at the time. So I had a great amateur background,
and you're a two-time Mexican.
Won a lot of national championships in Mexico and in the United States. In the United States, I always placed in the national tournaments. Always got a medal, whether it was bronze, gold, or silver.
Mm-hmm. And what's some of the tournaments that you won, and who would you fight as an amateur? You have any big names on your resume?
You know what? I wouldn't really pay much attention to the guys' names. I remember I fought Molina, the twins.
Mm-hmm.
I fought them. Who was it I fight?
They're just guys in headgear.
I fought the guy. I remember fighting the guy that won the gold medal in the Olympics this year in London. I fought him.
Oh, okay.
The Cuban. He's a Cuban kid. I think his last name is Iglesias.
So you fought.
No names really stick out,
And
in the amateurs, you don't really pay attention to the names because you're always just going through next bout by bout.
Yeah, you're a two-time Mexican national champion. You were a two-time U.S. junior national champion. You were a member of the 2008 Mexican Olympic team. What happened in the Olympics for you? Who beat you?
The Cuban. That's the one that beat me to go. He actually placed in Beijing. I think he got a bronze medal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good fight between me and him.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were scared of the Cubans just because they were from Cuba, and all the Cubans were good fighters. But they told me, I was like, okay. And you know what? As soon as that bell rang, I went straight to him, and we had a fight going on. I think we had a very impressive fight, both of us. But he beat me, on points, and also the Puerto Rican. I fought the Puerto Rican, and he beat me by a couple points.
Yeah, and how'd you feel not medaling? Was it devastating at the time, or was it just like, let's turn pro?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy, but, it was a great experience. It really was.
Mm-hmm. And you decided to turn pro. Do you remember who you fought and what the result was and where it was?
I remember his first name. I think it was Joel. I stopped him in the first round.
Mm-hmm. How'd you feel after that first pro win?
Happy, very happy. I said, you know what? I'm going to try knocking him out each time.
Yeah. And your second fight came against Trenton Titsworth. Sad thing is, the fight became infamous for a lack of a better word. He kissed you on the neck. And
yeah,
and
he actually kissed me in my ear. And that's why I reacted so bad to it, because it was so loud. When they kiss, I don't know if you ever had a girl kiss you in the ear, but it sounds real loud. Real loud, because it's right in your ear. And that's what he did, and it kind of pissed me off, and I gave him one.
It's kind of sad that you're forced to have to be linked to a guy named Titsworth forever. But you are. I'm just playing. That's an unusual last name, though.
Yeah, it is. So a kisser.
Well, it was a funny thing. In your sixth fight against Raul Tovar, that was on the undercard of the big Floyd Juan Manuel Marquez fight. What was it like being a part of that show so young in your career? Was there any extra pressure on you to perform?
Yeah, there was. And you know what? I didn't finish him off there. I remember I dropped him like 3 times, but wasn't able to finish him off. But that was just the inexperience.
Mm-hmm. I know you grew up kind of close to Floyd, but you have to be a big fan of Juan Manuel Marquez too. Did you have an opportunity to talk to him at all?
I'm sorry. Could you give me 1 second?
Yep.
1 second. I'm sorry.
Did you have the opportunity to say anything to Juan Manuel Marquez, or would it have been like sleeping with the enemy kind of?
Yeah, not really. I was part of the Mayweather team. I didn't have really much to say to Marquez. Expected a great match. That's what I did.
Yeah, and you were raised around Floyd from the age of 8. You had to have a lot of talks with him about the sport, and he must have given you some pointers or advice. What did Floyd teach you about boxing?
He gave me a lot of advice. It'd be hard to go through each one of them.
And have you ever witnessed a Mayweather family feud? They could get pretty crazy.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't actually. When they had that incident with on 24/7, I wasn't there that day.
No.
So no, I personally haven't.
Did you spar with Floyd a lot?
No, I never did.
Oh, never?
No.
Did you ever see Floyd sparring anyone who tested him in the gym? Give him a good go?
That tested him, I saw, Floyd is a very smart fighter. He's always had everything under, as a sparring. I've seen good sparring partners with him,
Mm-hmm.
But he's just very smart. He's a different type of fighter,
Yeah.
He knows how to have control of a lot of, especially sparring partners.
Yeah. And you were on the undercard.
I wouldn't say I saw someone give him a run for his money. I saw someone try to compete with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never heard anyone got really the better of him. I heard one time Paul Spadafora might have, a long time ago. But I never heard really anybody else test him really. But I know it's top secret too, so we don't get all that.
Yeah.
You were on the undercard though of the big Mayweather Mosley fight too. You fought Arturo Marrua. What do you remember about the Marrua fight?
What do I remember about it?
Yeah.
I remember I stopped him, and my corner wanted me to stop him a bit sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you were 9-0 fighting a guy with 40 fights. Did you feel his experience in there?
Did I feel the experience? I felt the difference that he was a veteran, but I was kind of get used to it, because if you look at my record, I always fought a lot of guys with a lot of matchups. With a lot of veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got used to it, and I learned from each one in each fight.
Yeah, and you're more talented than the average 9-0 guy. He had a great amateur career too, so it's kind of not fair.
Yeah.
Then you fought Ernesto Zavala, and you stop him in 6. And next up, you had the experienced former IBA champion Daniel Sarmiento. You made quick work of him though too, huh? Tell me about that one.
The Sarmiento fight?
Yeah.
Well, I took him on the first round.
Mm-hmm.
He had a very awkward style. That's something that I definitely remember about him.
Yeah, how'd you feel?
Very difficult, weird style.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually the one that trains Sergio Martinez.
Yep. Yeah.
And he has that awkward style, but I knew how to adapt, and I handled it pretty well. I knocked him on the first round.
Do you see any of Daniel in Sergio when you watch Sergio fight?
I do see some. Yes, that's what I was going to say. I don't want to compare them. I'm not going to compare them, but they do have some similarities.
Mm-hmm.
Like his head movement. He has his hands down, and he try to taunt you as well. So yeah, he does have that.
And how'd you feel at that point in your career? You blow out an experienced guy. You're young. You feeling like you're ready for anybody at that point?
I was feeling like I was ready for Maidana at that time. I remember.
Maidana.
And yeah.
Yeah, man. You're a big dreamer. That's good though.
Yeah. No. You know what? No one knows till you actually get the opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people didn't think Sugar Ray Leonard was gonna beat what's the other guy's name? When he became champion, he was Mexican. He was Mexican. Benitez or
Wilfred Benitez.
Was it him?
That Sugar Ray Leonard fought?
Every fighter, yeah. It was him, right? That's when he became champion?
Yep. That's it.
A lot of people thought he was a hype. He knocked him out in the later round.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to today.
I mean, it's all about the opportunity. You know, no one really knows until they get the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Maidana's he's a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a boxer. He's not a technical fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Strong puncher. He's not technical. If you put someone that's technical in front of him, I think he has problems. And with a lot of heart and balls, you know, they can beat him.
Yeah, I was just saying you're a big dreamer. I didn't mean you couldn't beat him. I'm just saying you didn't even go 8 rounds yet. You know?
Yeah, that's right. You know, I always tried. You know, I was always very confident. I try not to be cocky and just calm myself down, but I was always very confident of myself and my technique.
Yeah, and you know yourself better than anyone. I think you went 8 rounds, though. In your next 2 fights, you fought Ramon Montano and you fought Christian Favela. How'd you feel going 8 rounds? Did you feel tired at all at the end?
A bit. I did in my first fight. My second fight with Favela, you know what? With Favela, that was one great learning experience for me because I didn't prepare well for that fight. I beat him unanimous decision, but I remember that I didn't prepare 100%, and I made the fight a bit harder than it should have. You know, it should have been an easy fight.
Yeah. What were you doing at that time in your life to not take it so serious?
We didn't know who our opponent was, so I was kind of thinking that maybe we weren't even gonna fight.
Mm.
But actually got Favela like the day of the weigh-in. That's when they got him.
Yeah.
It was crazy. We didn't have names. We had a name for like a week, and then they would pull out. So, you know, I just got overconfident. You know, I took some days off from training, and that's what happened.
Yeah, but you get older.
I prefer to be then at that time in my career than now.
Absolutely.
You know, so I mean, you learn.
Yeah, you can't take the higher up guys lightly.
You can't take anyone lightly. That's something
that's true. That's a part of getting older, man. You get more professional. And
yeah.
You battered and you stopped Vivian Harris in 1 round. What do you got to say about that one? Did you think it'd be that fast?
Was after the Favela fight.
Yeah.
After the Favela fight, and I remember that. And I said, you know what? This next fight, I'm coming out with a bang. You know, I'm not happy with this performance. I'm going to shut everyone up, let everyone know who I am. And I came out and blasted out, what's his name? Vivian Harris?
Yeah.
I mean, if you see the fight, as soon as that bell ring went straight for him and hit him with a right-hand hook, and that hook kind of stunned him. And after that was his downfall. It was just on top of him, didn't let him off.
Yeah, you caught him and he had no chance. Then after that, you fought Walter Estrada, and he caught a bad one. Tell me about that one. Walter Estrada.
Walter, he tried hitting me with the same punch like 3-4 times, and I just prepared it. You know, I let him throw that same punch again, and I loaded up with everything. I just exactly knew what I had to do, and I countered it.
When that punch landed,
he landed that shot in the first round, I want to say, and then he tried it again in the second round, and then coming to the second round, he tried it about 2 times. By the second time, I just prepared it well, and I just moved out the way of his uppercut. If you look, he keeps trying to throw the same left uppercut with everything. And that time that he threw it, that moment that the last time he threw it, his last punch of the night, he threw it with everything. He loaded up, and I just stepped to the side. I let him throw it, and since he loaded up, he kind of fell off balance, and then bam, I came in with the hook right in the chin.
And when he goes down and you see his leg quivering, what are you thinking? Did you even see it?
I was like, man, I felt bad.
Were you scared? Scary.
I just felt bad for him, you know, and it was kind of like, damn. And then after that, I remember that after that fight, I mean, I like the knockouts. I mean, I'm just not that. I mean, I wish I was. I wouldn't care, you know, but I just felt bad. I felt bad after I knocked him out. I was like, damn.
It's one of those weird, freaky, scary knockouts. I'm a little older than you, but I remember when Simon Brown fought Vincent Petway. And when Simon Brown went down, it was scary for a minute because I kept seeing he was throwing like punches when he was down. I don't know if you ever saw that fight.
Yeah.
It was freaky.
I didn't see that one.
That was a freaky one.
I saw the Nonito there one. I mean, they're just some devastating knockouts, you know, and it's just part of the game.
Yeah, it's
we
rare.
have to get used to.
It's rare KOs like that, but
because if not, I mean, it's either you or him.
Yeah, you had to be relieved when he got up though. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah, I was.
Then you fight Josecito Lopez. Bring me back to that fight with Josecito.
Yeah, that was an entertaining fight for myself as well.
Yeah, it was.
I really enjoyed myself in the fight. I mean, because it is a sport, you know, and I think that we all enjoy to do it. Well, at least I enjoy it. You know, to me, it's like, you know, football.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's also a thinking man's game, and I enjoy it. In that fight, I could say that I had fun.
Do you think you won the decision?
Of course, without a doubt.
Yeah, you were deducted.
At the fight, I thought of it at the fight, and that's with the referee taking a point away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm still winning the fight. So I mean, you could tell that I was winning.
Yeah, you were deducted a point in round 8 for low blows. Were you getting a little tired at that point? Is that what happened? Big fight?
Yeah. You know what I was. I'm not gonna lie. After the 6th, 7th round, I started. You know, my stamina started dropping a bit, but after the 6th round, you know, I felt my body tired. Now it was my first 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And that went a distance. But you know, I pushed myself to the limit, and after they took that low blow, I finished off a lot better than it just boosted my energy back up to 100%. If you notice it.
Mm-hmm.
I even put pressure on him in the last. I even put pressure on him in the last round.
Yep, I was going to ask you that. How good it must have felt good to finish so strong.
I was going to stop him in the 10th. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know this. If you pay a lot of attention in the 10th round, I was this close. You know, I was very close to stopping him.
Mm-hmm.
And but you know, he also caught me with a shot because I got overconfident. I said, I have him. But Lopez is those type of fighters that you can't ever be overconfident, because he's kind of giving up, or he thinks you could tell that he's lost. You know, that's it. But all of a sudden, he comes out and he gives it his all one more time, and
yeah.
He throws that other flurry just to see if he can do it before he loses. So that's what he was doing with Lopez, except for work with him in that fight.
Yeah, a little Arturo Gatti in him, and he's making big news.
He has a lot of heart, you know, and that's what he had. And that whole round, I remember the 10th round, I was winning the whole round, the whole 10th round. And then he got me with a nice shot, and I kind of backed off for a little bit. He threw a couple combinations, and I came right back. And I mean, it was a very entertaining fight, but I really don't see how people can say that he beat me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say if you pay a lot of attention, pay attention to a lot of the shots. Turn off the audio. Don't listen to the audio. Turn off the audio and pay attention to how many shots he lands, how many shots I land.
Yeah.
Every shot that he landed, I landed 3-4 easy. You know, and people say that I don't hit as hard, but if you look at us after the fight, you know, he was banged up. I wasn't. You know what I mean? And it's just his punches are very wide, so you can see them. So when they land, you know, it takes a while to get there. You know, so it looks big. And then with me, all my punches are crisp, nice and short. They're all from the inside.
Yeah.
So I don't open up. But when they feel it, they feel it like a rock. I know it because I feel it in my hand. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a great fight. You know, he at the press conference, you know, he said that he lost the fight. So I don't know what people, we as fighters know who won, who lost.
Yeah.
He said it himself at the press conference that he lost.
A lot of people don't see those sneaky little inside shots, but he felt them. You know? And there's always going to be haters around, too.
I mean, if you pay attention, if anyone really wants to really look at that fight and say who won, look at all the punches right before he would hug me and clinch me. Who landed that last punch for him to clinch? I mean, I had to rest, and I also, you know, we as boxers, we find a way to breathe. But every body shot that I landed, he would clinch me right away.
Yeah.
About 5 seconds.
Tells you
I would
something.
hurt him, but I was in the inside. It was my inexperience. You know, I was only 22 at the time. You know, he was 27. He had 30 fights. I had 16 fights. And then, you know, I'm very, very happy with that fight, because I knew he was a good fighter, and I wanted to show that I was the class of my fighter. You know, that I am.
Yeah, and you should be happy.
I'm very happy. This is why we're having this long conversation. But I mean, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's a great. It was a great win, and there's always going to be haters around, you know. But
yeah, I mean, there's always going to be negative comments, but you know, we can't let it get to us.
Yeah, you can't pay attention to everybody, man. And he's got that big fight coming up with Canelo. What do you think of that fight? Does Josecito have a shot?
He does have a shot. You know, he has a lot of heart and determination, but I truly believe that I still give him a chance. I'm not writing him off.
Yeah. What do you when you watch Canelo? What do you see that makes him so effective at what he does?
What do I see that's so effective for Canelo?
Throws some good body shots, don't he?
Yeah, that he does. He does throw some good body shots.
They just sound different.
He does throw some good body shots. Yeah.
And he's mean.
He's a good young fighter. You know, you can't really. I don't think I still think he's still learning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a young fighter myself.
Yeah.
You know, but I still think he's learning how to be more technical.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How to not get hit so easy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just you know, he's young, and I think he still he's gonna build into his own fighter. But I can't figure him out. I don't know what type of fighter he is.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to see him in there with a fighter that's his weight class. You know what I mean? Just to see how he would react to that, and what kind of style. I think that's when he would actually show his style and bravery.
Time will tell.
We'll actually get to see, you know, his technique, you know, and his bravery and how good he is. Right now he's fighting Josecito, which is a good fighter, but I think the weight is gonna make a difference in his fight, because I mean he's a 140-pound fighter going up to 154.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. I still think it's gonna be interesting for the reason being that Josecito has a lot of heart. But, you know, I mean, I think the weight he's going to feel the weight difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, Canelo has never fought someone of that height and reach, so that might affect Canelo as well.
Yeah, we will see. And
yeah.
For you, next up in your career was Leonardo Tyner. Anything about that one stand out to you?
Yeah. Dirty fighter.
Dirty.
I don't want to say dirty fighter, but in that fight, yeah, he did. He didn't fight me clean.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he hit me with a low shot that was so low, man, and after that he hit me in the top of the head as I was going down.
What's it feel like to get hit low like that? A solid low blow. What's that feel like?
It sucks, man. I was pissed, and it took me a while to recover, but I recovered, you know, and
yeah. It's a rough sport.
you know, I wasn't happy. And I wasn't happy. You know what? I got cut on top of the head, a small little cut. I didn't know where it came from, and then I saw the fight the next day. And this guy hit me with a low blow. I mean, it was low, you know, it was basically intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And then he knew he hit me low, and as I was going down to the floor from the low blow, he hit me on top of the head with a loaded up right hand. I mean, he loaded up with everything on it. And that kind of, you know, pissed me off at the next day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I mean, he felt that it was a hard fight. That's what it was. I mean, he's never done that before. He fought Canelo. He's never done that with Canelo. He felt a hard fight coming to him, and he knew he had to do something to slow me down. Yeah. But it wasn't going to. You know, I was determined, and I was going to beat him. Yeah. And I put an ass whooping on him.
Yes, you did. Didn't let him get away with it.
I didn't.
And you weren't scheduled to fight Steve Forbes. He was set to fight
Emmanuel Augustus. I remember that fight. I didn't know I was fighting Tyner until like a week and a half before the fight.
It was another.
And he somehow Tyner knew that he was fighting me 3 weeks before the fight. I remember someone told me, "Hey man, my boy Tyner, he posted on Facebook that he's gonna fight you." Like, I'm not fighting him. You know, we don't even have an opponent yet. And a week and a half before the fight, hey, it's Leonardo Tyner. Oh, okay. So, you know, I wasn't happy about that either, but
that's a crazy thing.
Yeah, I guess I was the opponent.
You're the last to know.
I mean, it wasn't like that. I mean, maybe you know, my team had a lot of confidence in me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I had a different team at that time. You know, I was Floyd Mayweather promoter, so maybe that's why they didn't tell me.
Yeah. Maybe they just wanted to surprise you. You weren't scheduled to fight Steve Forbes, but he was set to fight Emmanuel Augustus.
I was gonna fight Alfonso Gomez.
Yeah.
And before we even started training, the fight was with Alfonso Gomez. So that whole camp was concentrated on Alfonso Gomez. Mm-hmm. And a week and a half before the fight, I think it was 10 days before the fight, Forbes comes in because Gomez comes out with back spasms. And which is kind of weird to me because he just fought. Who did he fight? He just fought Porter.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you can recover that fast from back spasms, but maybe it was true. But we were prepared for Gomez. We were looking forward to a great victory over Gomez. Then they switch up a completely different fighter. That's just a completely different twist. Mm-hmm. He was a counter-puncher. Going from an aggressive fighter to a counter-puncher that just knows how to box. Mm-hmm. And being that we put 7 weeks of hard work just strictly on Gomez, that was frustrating. But it's just things that happen, and we just had to deal with it and come to fight Forbes. And the only couple days that we had to kind of switch up our style, we did. But I wish I would have put a little more pressure on Forbes.
Yeah.
But it's also experience. Mistakes that were done in that fight with just being too patient. But we live and we learn. I was happy because I gave a very good boxer, counterpuncher, ex-world champion. I gave him a boxing lesson. I had him like a kid. He couldn't do anything. So just comes to show you, I have good technique on the outside.
And made more impressive by the fact that you didn't know you were fighting him anyway. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Huh? And that was on the undercard of the really big Floyd Mayweather-Miguel Cotto fight. What did you think of Miguel's performance in that one?
I think Miguel has a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Because I think they both do. It was a great fight. It was an entertaining fight. I think it might win fight of the year. Cotto, I think he would when he would back off, I think that was his downfall. Backing off, because you can't back off Floyd.
Yeah.
And Floyd's just an extremely intelligent fighter, and Cotto is as well. This is the best of the best one in the ring. I think that night, one of the best fighters out there, and which it was a cause to a great fight.
Yeah, it was a great fight, and after that fight,
no one can complain to that.
Nope, great fight.
Yeah.
And unexpected test for Floyd. And after that fight, you split with Roger Mayweather.
No, I split with Roger Mayweather a couple weeks before the Walter Estrada fight.
Oh, was it? Was Robert Alcazar in your corner, or who was in your? When did Robert Alcazar come?
Yeah,
in your corner?
Robert Alcazar was in my corner at that time.
All the way from then. Wow, I didn't even know that. What's his style like? Why do you guys work so well together?
We just bonded right away. That's style that I'm trying to learn, and
Did you feel like?
I'm sorry?
Did you feel like you were with Roger so long that you kind of stopped learning? Because you were with him from the time you started boxing, right?
Yeah. Well, something like that. It's just we had some differences, and no problems. Me and Roger never had problems. Mm-hmm. But just some differences, and I just thought it was at the point where I thought I needed something different. Different trainer.
Robert Alcazar is known for...
No credit away from him, because Roger's a great trainer. He does have the pound-for-pound champion of the world right now, so he's a great trainer. It's just, for me at the time, it's just I need Robert.
Change. Sometimes you got to change, And Robert Alcazar is known for being the first trainer for Oscar De La Hoya, and he trained him for most of the time in Oscar's career and life. Were you a big Oscar fan coming up?
Yes, I was.
And
I was an Oscar fan.
And you signed with Top Rank recently, and you refused the Money Team's attempt to promote you. What do you think about TMT and 50 Cent? You think they got a big future in the sport?
I think, they're two smart individuals that, I wish them much success, and I'm sure they'll succeed in, in the new promotional company that they have.
Yep, and Top Rank is promoting your next fight September 13th. You're fighting Aaron Martinez. He'll be in the opposite corner. What do you expect from Martinez?
Well, Martinez, I'm expecting a fight. I think that he comes to fight, and he comes to fight, and he's somewhat of a boxer. He's technical. So, I'm just gonna have to outsmart him, and also I want my punch to be a difference in this fight. The punching power.
So you're looking to put pain on him, stop him.
Yeah, I am. I'm looking to stop him. Yes.
And if you're successful, and you should be, what's the timetable for you in a title shot or a big fight?
Big fight. Well, I'm hoping right after this one. I have to talk with my promoter and manager, Cameron Duncan. But after this fight, I want to go after a world championship, after a world title, without a doubt. And
now that you're promoted by Top Rank, you might actually be in the ring with Manny Pacquiao or Tim Bradley or someone. What do you think of a fight with you and Manny Pacquiao?
I would love it. Pacquiao is one of the a great champion, and to beat him, would be a dream of mine. And all we need is opportunity. There's always that younger lion that's getting ready to take out the older lion. So, I feel that I'm it. And I would love that opportunity.
Yeah. What do you think of Tim Bradley? Think he won that fight?
Bradley?
You think anything much
of the fight?
He does have the belt.
Yeah. That fight, it was it was just a slow rhythm for Pacquiao. It's a lot. We're not used to seeing him in that rhythm. That's what I think. I think that might have been a difference in the fight.
Yeah. And what do you think about another young up-and-coming welterweight, Kell Brook from England? Watch anything?
You know what? I hear a lot about him. A lot of people, as a matter of fact, say that Kell Brooks and I would make a good matchup. I don't know who he is, but I know he's undefeated.
Yeah, it would be a good fight. Look forward to that one. And there's still Paul Malignaggi out there, and the Randall Bailey, Devon Alexander winner.
Yeah, Randall Bailey, man. We actually, we were negotiating a fight with him, but he went over to with Alexander. He took that fight instead of ours. So.
Well, who wins that one?
Alexander should win unless he gets caught. As long as he doesn't get caught, he should. He has the better skills. He's younger. He's quicker. So I think Alexander should win.
You got Marcos Maidana. He's training with Robert Garcia now. You wanted to fight him before. What do you think, Marcos Maidana, now that he's with Robert Garcia? He didn't have a fight yet, but heard he's making some good strides. Opinions on Maidana?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any opinions on Marcos Maidana? Now he's training with Robert Garcia.
Well, he's a strong fighter. That's not basically the only thing I can say about him. He's a strong fighter, and we'll see if Robert Garcia makes any difference in his style.
I'm just going to drop a couple more names. You got Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Think of him. Look good in his fight with Aidin.
Yeah, he felt Aidin's power, but Aidin is a strong fighter. He has a title now, and but who's he gonna fight?
Yeah, it's a deep division though, and you got Adrian Broner possibly coming all the way up to 147. He said nobody at 147 wants to fight him. You say he's wrong, or would you like to welcome him to 147?
If he wants to come in, I'll welcome him, but I don't think he would go up to 147.
Yeah. And
his weight is what, 135?
He's 135 now, but he's definitely moving up. He might bypass 140 altogether, but I don't know.
Oh, at 130, right?
Was he one?
Vicente Escobedo? Yeah, he came in overweight.
Yeah.
So for him to go from 130 to 147, it's
drastic.
It's not a smart. Well, who knows? I don't think he'll go to 147. I think you're just saying that. I think the highest he'll go is maybe 140.
Yeah. It seems pretty illogical to go all the way up to 147 already.
Yeah, I don't believe that. But I mean, he's a very technical, slick boxer. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
He has that punching power behind him. He's a good fighter.
Yeah. In closing, you have anything to say to your growing fan base, and how do your fans interact with you? Are you on Twitter? Do you have a Twitter account, or you tweeting?
I do not tweet, not yet. You know, I did have a Twitter account, but I had some problems with it, so I have to reactivate a new. Actually, I'm going to activate a new Twitter, so just keep in touch for that, and you know, all my fans, you know, thank you for following my career. You know, I'm always here to give you great fights. And September 13th at the Hard Rock Casino is my next fight against Aaron Martinez. And don't miss it. You know, it's also going to be on a special edition of ESPN on Thursday night fights. So don't miss it. You know, I'm coming in to give you a great matchup, and I hope you enjoy.
Jessie Vargas, wish you luck on your upcoming fight. Martinez, thank you, my man. Appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you very much.